When you look at his channel and the life of Reza and Ali Abdaal, there's one thing that they all do incredibly well. The key to success on YouTube and in life, whether it's business, content creation, or even when you want to start a side hustle and make money online.
Here's a quick tutorial on how to be miserable for the rest of your life. Step 1. Wake up whenever you want to. Don't wake up at a reasonable hour, an hour that makes you feel good about yourself. Make sure you wake up when everyone has had a head start to the day. You really want to make sure you feel like you've missed any chance to start your day off on the right foot.
Did you know there are over 51 million channels on YouTube? This is of course according to tubix.com, which made this report in 2022. But you know what's even more fascinating? Only 29,000 channels that have over 1 million subscribers. Now they call this, quote unquote, the YouTube dinosaurs. So what exactly does it mean to be a YouTube dinosaur? Well, for one thing, it means you've got a huge subscriber base and you're incredibly popular and you get millions and millions of views. Now, one channel that I'm going to be talking about today does this incredibly well, and that's Bit Ideas. Last week, we spoke about a channel, The Life of Reza, that had under 500,000 that still managed to garner hundreds of thousands of views. Now, with Bit Ideas, he's been around for 6 years. Now, who exactly is behind Bit Ideas? One, the guy behind it is Joey, a Canadian YouTuber who started posting videos over 6 years ago. When you look at his channel and the life of Reza and Ali Abdaal, one thing that they all do incredibly well. The key to success on YouTube and in life, whether it's business, content creation, or even when you want to start a side hustle and make money online. So I analyzed 3 channels, right, that were completely different in the way they did something or in the way they started. But there was a key to success I saw, right, among those 3 channels. It's showing, right, versus telling. As a writer, I was always told that, the most important concept is showing. And the hardest thing to master as a writer in any creative space is showing, because it's so easy for us to tell. Telling stories is a lot easier than showing a story. Telling someone that you got up late and you're tired and you're groggy and you're not in a good mood and you're yelling at the bus driver who dropped you in the wrong corner, right, is so different than showing the scene. Telling someone how to solve their problems is so much different than showing them, especially on YouTube. Like when you write it down, you have to, even writing it down, right? Showing versus telling. Showing is incredibly difficult. But when I looked at all 3 of these videos, all 3 of these different channels, they all did this incredibly well. They mastered the art of storytelling. Showing scenes, right? Showing them getting up, showing them improving their life, showing them going to the gym, showing them actually getting their YouTube plaque, right? The YouTube 1 million subscriber or 100,000 subscriber plaque. It felt a lot different than if they told you that. And this allowed you to engage, right, more with them, to see through their eyes, to feel as if you were in the room, to connect with them a lot easier than if someone were to show you, right? If someone to tell you, okay? Now, another thing I also realized is they were incredibly entertaining. YouTube is a complicated machine to operate, trying to catch the attention of millions of people across the world who all have different tastes, who all speak the different languages, who all have different culture, who all have different perspectives, right? And with that, you gotta be engaging. Even if you're trying to educate someone, you have to be engaging. Because often the thing with us in terms of when we want to start a business or if we want to be successful, if you want to start a YouTube channel, it's difficult for us to understand the art of engaging the viewer, engaging them, so that they lean forward. Another thing is, like I said in point 2, very relatable, yet also informative. Relating to someone who you're watching is the key to success. Relating to someone who is, in the space of being an entrepreneur, a content creator, a YouTuber, is so different. What I mean by relating, is you feel their pain, you feel, their anxiety, you feel as if you are stepping inside shoes for the day. You feel as if they understand where you're coming from. And relatability is a concept that a few of us understand because we're taught on social media that you gotta pretend to get ahead. You got to show people in a different light. Show them your success story. Show them the positives, not the negatives. Because the YouTube space is brutal, the internet space is brutal. And often we forget what we connect with is raw, unfiltered personal stories. Because we can't relate to the Dwayne Johnsons and the Nicki Minaj's and the Taylor Swifts, and the list goes on, right? But we can relate to the average Joes who were where we were a couple of years ago and who are not as famous as the Nicki Minaj's or the Dwayne Johnsons, but we can still relate to them. I would say these three aspects are what also made him incredibly, popular. But another thing is, as I was digging deeper in and I watched these videos, I realized something else that made him popular and inspired me to create this video. So what can we learn from him as a YouTuber, or as an entrepreneur, or as a content creator? Stands out from the crowd.
When we think about our life, we usually think about it in the form of a story. First we were born, and then we did some things and made some memories, and now we're...
He doesn't lag on. And that makes it feel as if the video is shorter than it already is. Another thing is, he's got a very unique approach to personal development. The ideas that he uses that you might not have heard of before, concepts that are new to you, ways that he twisted the narrative to give you a solution that you never thought of before. Another thing is, he uses a lot of reverse psychology.
Be suspicious of people. Never give people the benefit of the doubt. Believe that everyone basically just wants to take advantage of you. And because of this, you should be guarded.
Going on YouTube and looking at the positives, right? How to make money online, right? Live a great life. But when you change the narrative, it dawns further into you, it sinks further in, because you realize all the stuff he's pointing out, you relate to it. You might not wake up early, you might be lazy, you might take your time doing certain things. And with that, you feel conditioned to change your life in a way that's subtle. He's not pushing you to it, he's telling you as a story for you to understand that, yeah, this is how you live a miserable life, if you want your life to continue the way it is. Another thing is, as I was watching, jumped out at me. One of them was the do something principle. Instead of waiting for something to happen, instead of waiting for the motivation to happen, instead of waiting for the right opportunities, instead of waiting for you to be ready to do something, why don't you just do it? Learn that instrument, start that business, go on social media, go on YouTube, right? Start a channel, write that book and publish that book. I would say it's one of the simplest ways to actually improve your motivation and self-discipline in a way that I've never even heard of before. I mean, you hear it a lot, like the 5-second rule and all that stuff, but this one is a lot different because it's taking a small step, it's taking a small action. Another thing is, of course, you always hear this, reward yourself with the small wins. And this is a vital part of growth and improving, right? A vital part in bridging the gap from unknown to success, right? From being poor to wealthy, from struggling to becoming successful. Gotta reward yourself for the small wins, because every time you reward yourself, you motivate yourself to do more. If you reward yourself for the small actions you took, you're more likely to keep going forward because you're incentivizing yourself, and that makes you feel good about whatever you did. Another thing is, consistency matters. Joey has been doing YouTube for 6 years. And at the start of his YouTube career, you can see the change in his video structure from what happened 6 years ago to what happened now. 6 years ago, his thumbnails weren't as good as what they are now. 6 years ago, his storytelling ability wasn't as good as what is now. 6 years ago, the way he titled his YouTube titles was not as good as it is now. And that is the key that a lot of us are missing. Yes, we all hear that consistency, matters, but how many of us actually drill it in our heads and realize how important consistency matters? What I'm saying is, with consistency, you're constantly improving, you're constantly growing, you're constantly changing, you're constantly developing your ideas and making new ideas and giving fresh perspectives. And the more you improve, the better you are and the faster you grow. This bridges on to consistency, but keep improving on your skills, because in the beginning, you're not going to be as good as you are now. You're going to fumble the ball, you're going to mess up, you're going to struggle. But the whole point of all this is to keep going at it, to keep improving, to keep learning, to keep, tightening the bolt. I know, weird analogy, but you get what I'm trying to say. You gotta keep going forward. You gotta keep improving. Another thing is, and this is something I've spoken about, and a lot of personal development people talk about, is you gotta stick to habits. That's the thing that a lot of us struggle with, the sticking to a habit. Because sticking to habits makes us feel icky, it makes us feel as if it's too much work. It makes us feel like it's a chore. And who honestly wants certain things to be a chore? I mean, as adults, you would think that we'd get used to the idea of chores and doing things that we don't want to do, but often it's a struggle, especially for all the ADHD people out there. But here the thing is, stick to a habit. A habit literally becomes part of your routine, and then it no longer becomes painful. I remember the first days when I was waking up early. Oh my gosh, it was such a chore. I would stay in bed for as long as possible. But then the more I did it, the better it became. And the better it became, the easier it was. And the easier it was, it no longer felt like a chore. It just felt natural for me to wake up early. For us entrepreneurs and YouTube, well, I would say it's for everyone, content creators, YouTubers, and entrepreneurs. You gotta know what your audience wants. What does your audience need? What pain points can you talk about? What medicine can you give? Like, what cure, right, can you give? Or, what lessons can you teach? Go back to the video I was talking about, how to live a miserable life. On the surface, it looks like a story, right? But then when you watch the video, you know that it's talking about people who don't want to change their life. And it's touching on every single pain point. The pain point of struggling to wake up, the pain point of doing something you don't want to do, the pain point of, pushing yourself into the habit of getting prepared. Touching on all of those things. But it's doing it in such a way where it makes you think. It makes you think and question your motives and say, oh wait, I've been doing that. These are some of the things that I've learned from watching Better Ideas videos. And as I go further down the list and I watch all these YouTubers, I'm learning snippets of what makes them successful, but not only that, but I'm also learning how to become successful. I'm learning the principles of success. I'm learning how to navigate success. And you are gonna learn that as well. Success is not a one-night wonder. It's not something that everyone wakes up and honestly, bam, they're successful. It's not like a bam, dibbity bam, kind of thing where that person goes from nobody to success story. And we're used to hearing that narrative that, oh my gosh, that person probably had some rich uncle in some mansion somewhere, and they probably had some backer or financer, or we have all these reasons for not doing things because we always look at these people who are better off than us, and we always think that that person had backing. But a lot of these people are average Joes. A lot of them didn't have money. A lot of them had to start from scratch. A lot of them had no experience in what they wanted to get into. And this is the beauty of this Making Bank series, because you're going to learn a lot in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of content creation, in terms of being a YouTuber. So I hope you will continue to watch the rest, because they're bangers. I'm telling you, they're bangers that are going to be coming up. So if you haven't, please like, please subscribe, hit the like button, and make sure that you're notified so that you don't miss the next video that's coming out.